to be looking rough for Complexity, especially at the start of this matchup here. So we have to hope that they're a little bit more prepared for Inferno, as this is their map pick.
Well, it's the start on the CT side that Complexity will much enjoy. They did, of course, have the choice last time and chose to start out T-side. We mentioned that as well on Mirage. Some teams will still elect to do that. So Slemmy alone toward B with a smoke. He's hoping he can deter them with that alone. I think they're going to freight train straight through it. They don't have the bomb on this side of the map, so there's not much return on doing so unless they can find the kill fast enough to rotate back through CT and hold rotations. Bomb stays on back T side of apartments waiting on the opposite side of the bridge.
It's a more aggressive push coming back down through middle, though. We can see specifically that. Yeah, Ye manages to put himself into this very good position here. So he's going to line up not one. Can he get number 2 here, too? And indeed he does. That drops the bomb as well. So that's going to cause some major issues here. Yeah, even though we do see NRG pushing in and clearing out the B bomb site, now they've lost all the momentum, and they're going to have to go back down to the bottom of Banana to retrieve the bomb.
I really don't know what the play is on that at all. I can't picture what the plan was if you're trying. I mean, this does come to a 3-on-3, so hold tight because there's still a chance they can win duels and get bomb back with a minute to go. They know where all 3 are. They've got a shot down. Android responds. As Cirque wants to wide peek back out, Peter's going to play the angle. They may still pull this off, and if they do, it's a stroke of luck for them, in my honest opinion, because Peter limited off. They managed to grab the bomb. Cirque holds the angle. Peter's low as well on 21, but they get around the corner and somehow recover because splitting as they were, getting the B site's great. The fact that bomb was so far away and gets cut off, Ye drops bomb and they all rotate down mid. They should have, Complexity should have been able to hold off the positions as Peter trying his utmost with no kit to try and get back inside of the site. Everyone's reasonably low. Cirque 38, Rico 47. Peter in a similar area in terms of HP. First shot comes immediately out from Rico. Cirque holds it off, but Rico pops back out, and Peter goes down immediately on entry.
So well recovered there from NRG after losing the bomb to a great flank that came in from Ye. Like you said before, it was a very, very dire situation that they absolutely should not have recovered from. In fact, I think there was probably a cleaner way to get that bomb back instead of just going right for the straight-up 3v3 duel in Banana. Considering that they managed to take control of it all the way towards CT, and there was still like a minute left on the clock at that point, they probably could have tried to go through the A site, maybe pinch on those players that were all sitting at the edge of Banana. There's a lot of like unknowns at that point too, whether they knew all 3 players were going to be positioned there at Crossroads, whether they were going to still hold a few back at the A site, things like that. So that's probably the reason why they decided to just go straight for the outright 3v3 there. But like you said, stroke of luck ends up working out in their favor, and they do eventually recover and win the round.
Peter waiting. Position not yet, but they'll get aggressive. Smokes down as well to deter the T side. More intriguing position perhaps from Dev as he's going to start to investigate. But Slemmy gets low and gets toward Tree, so they've got good actual map control on the CT side. In fact, very good. Wins out against Rico. Does get traded back by A&J. Frozen screen. Picturesque rotations as always as they push all the way down inside of Banana. We'll get a quick shot. Cirque as well will follow it up. So patience pays off because Complexity was doing their absolute best to try and take as much map control away as possible and be ready for A, a flank, should an execution come in, and B, take fights at close range.
We were going to see Ye trying to move in and take another fight back over here at the mid-choke. Cirque looks like he's relatively ready to take that, especially as he backs up into the corner now. Yeah, Ye didn't even realize that he was positioned out there. So Cirque will quickly dispatch of him, take him out of the fight. And now that leaves only Android alive. He is going to be in the correct site to play off of this, but he's up against a 1v4. He's only got a deagle. Takes a lot of time lining up that headshot, but ultimately won't take any of these players down. Everyone else from NRG stays alive, and they win the round with 4 standing, so this is good for them to build up their money relatively quickly at the beginning of the half.
Yeah, significant factor. We've definitely seen money be problematic, I think is the way to put it, today in certain situations. Obviously, last game at the start, Complexity was worn down. Actually wore down NRG at one point in time as well, though, in the middle of the half we saw as well in the previous game. The first best of 3 with Team 1. Some issues for Complexity in that situation as well. NRG, meanwhile, challenge Banana, double nade, strike to corner to try and push them back as the MAC-10 does the reconnaissance mission. EA and Android will play off of each other and hope that their combined damage on USPs will be enough to at least get one, or best case scenario, 2 kills, I'll say.
NRG's still taking their time on the execute here, even on a round like this where it should be relatively straightforward. They'll move their players now after they have deployed the smoke over here towards the garden approach. The CTs do try to challenge that a little bit, but all it really serves to do is give away their positions. We can see Android thoughts on very low. And actually, well, Reeks just kind of dives right through that there, so Rico's going to essentially give himself away to Ye. At least one kill will be given to Complexity as a result of that, but anything more than this is going to be very, very difficult to achieve since they are working on just those default pistols here. We can see them slowly trying to bargain their way back in, but as soon as they get even close to pushing that, they take so much damage. Breeze, however, fortunately comes out at the losing end of a little duel there. It's dropped down to 29 HP. Fugly waiting for the spot onto the player at Flower Pot. He wasn't able to see him just yet. Now he finds him, though. I think after he sees the shadow, he's able to finally figure out where he's at. Now it's just a matter of taking out the remainders here. Complexity, unfortunately, just don't have the firepower to push in NRG here, and as a result, they'll still win it out with the majority of their players left standing.
Good win, good collection of kills. Fugly building up cash early on, so to his Cirque. T-side off on Inferno, perhaps not as prominent. They'll upgrade a few of the weapons, so not go for the immediate bonus round effect. As I can see it on your screen, they've gotten rid of all of the SMGs.
Yeah, full-on upgrade here going into the first gun round, but that is going to mean quite a bit of expenditure, so still leaves them with a decent amount, though.
Yeah, they'll be able to force in the next round for sure.
Yeah.
So they still have a bonus potential, if you will, but it's not what we would typically refer that to that round, the bonus round, especially because it's the reinvestment, or sorry, the kill reward that adds to the contribution of what a bonus round is. If you win it with SMGs, not only do you win it, but you do so by getting a lot more money as well. Just to clarify the definition and meaning behind why we call it that. Good shot, Peter.
Nicely found there. Catches ANJ moving in quickly up those T-steps, and this match of him. Another kill found by Slimmy here, too, so great hold so far by Complexity. NRG just trying to poke and prod at parts of the map, and every single time so far in this round, it has not worked out for them. The remaining three look like they are just going to try to group themselves up and make another attempt at a push over towards the B site. However, Complexity on the other end of things here is looking to resist this. Only having two in the site right now, but more should be rotating over in just a few moments. And on top actually hasn't been able to strike just yet. It's been Android that gets the first kill from down below. Yay, waiting for his opportunity to dive back in. He can only get one, but thankfully, even though he falls, Slummy is there to quickly make up for that and get Complexity onto the board here in the first gun round.
Decent find from Complexity, but this is where the force buy potential does still threat and loom for NRG, especially because they did force out some reinvestment on the CT side, specifically for Slemmy, who's fully bumped back in. Yay will upgrade utility, so too will Def and Android, so they get to the helmets. They've got kits on 3, smokes on everyone as well, which we did talk about. We had this debate earlier, Seaside and I. Seaside's such a more peaceful name than Sadokist, like Seaside, tranquil, you've got a nice ocean in front of you. Sadokist. Nah, that's not really the same thing, is it?
No.
And then blue's rather ominous, it could be anything.
I'm like a code name.
Are you?
Yeah.
Code Blue.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
I don't know. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, okay. I thought you had some epic
No,
story.
no.
I was looking forward to story time with Blue. Flashes through. Our NRG is going to be aggressive. Smokes off left side, so they'll wrap toward the quad. Molotov toward pits. Molotov outside of the door as well as Def lines up. Good find on the first. Sprays inside of the site. Perhaps should have gone slightly to his left because A&J walks out to get the trade back before he could do any further damage onto Breeze, which allows him to stay alive, cover the corner, and a bomb plant down, but a very tight position to play inside of the site for 3 out of the 4 NRG players. They'll rely, therefore, on the anchor of Fugly to get information toward the library, and he's being rather passive in doing so. Molotov's misguided in assuming that Cirque is on the stairwell rather than in the corner of the graveyard, and it's a save. They don't have enough information as to go, and they can't afford to get reset this early with so much investment of utility.
Yeah, so a little bit stronger on the brute force this time from NRG. They don't spend a lot of time kind of exploring the map and looking for opportunities there, because that's how they got tripped up last round here, is they spend too much time doing that, and because Complexity played a little bit more aggressive, they lost too many of their players early on. This time they just go right for the play, and it works out great for them. Losing Rico on the way back in, but other than that, the trades end up favoring them, and the shock value of it just throws Complexity off so much that obviously they're just not even given the opportunity to rotate and even attempt to retake. They have to immediately fall back, save their weapons. This does mean, of course, the Complexity is still going to be relatively potent going into this round. They are going to be still losing that last one there, and more importantly, their losing bonus here is going to end up being reset, so you can see their money pretty much in the dumps immediately after dropping just that one round.
So immediately, we see a buy and investment toward AKs. No T-side up just yet for Cirque, but he's going to get aggressive. Dodge of a flash. Good read on Slemmy's peak, but he can't do anything with that either, so he'll back off to the arch side of top middle. Was that shallow thrown from Peter? I don't think there was any benefit to that flash at all.
Not sure either.
He's flashing over to let his team peek. That's one thing, but I don't think he even threw it that far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think he flashed so they could cross cleanly, because now they've gone for a boost back site. Either way, Fugly starts his way in, finds the boost immediately. Android goes down, and Orange 2 trades back, but Breeze is there to immediately make up for it. And again, NRG find the exchanges in their favor on entry, shall we say. They've been very, very good, Liquid-esque with the Legion Nitro when they're on the same page in some ways to how they're finding their entry kills.
Yeah, and this is going to make it pretty rough for Complexity to go in and attempt to retake. They're still going to do it simply because the numbers have been kept even, and they still have decent utility to go back into the site with 2. But Peter been forced out. They catch the player in Emo. Peter's able to trade out the kill again. The problem is now it's just him and Def going up against Cirque, who had not been seen up to that point. He was still over here on Banana, and now Def's going to have to push him. Oh, he's in such a good spot here too, and just barely wins the fight. Survives it with only 10 HP, but is going to get the headshot on Def, knocking him out and restoring the advantage for NRG.
Wow, Cirque. Impressive again with the AK. It's a win for NRG that puts them at 5-1 T-side Inferno again. This is their strength, absolutely. These T-sides. Remember, this map is Complexity's choice. I'd like to talk to Daps after the map because I think that they actually wanted Inferno, which is why they picked Mirage first, hoping to bait Complexity into a lack of choice and bring... In other words, by bringing in Mirage, they forced Complexity out of their comfort zone, but then forced them also to pick Inferno because it was the next natural selection that they would go for, and it gave them it gave them their second best map with their best as opposed to having to settle for something else.
Yeah, no, it does. They're going to lose one of their players early on here, and Cirque will just continue to mow them down. Peter only getting the 1 trade here, so almost a team kill. He's having a little bit of trouble painting his targets down here, but does finally show up with at least 1 more kill. Still relatively messy, though, considering what Complexity had bought into it with. Getting those 2 kills is probably not going to be a bad thing for Complexity. They're probably relatively okay with the outcome of that round.
Pause called. This will be Slemmy calling it for Complexity to see what they can salvage from the situation. Obviously, they've got money in this particular round, but we'll see what they choose to invest into because as far as I can tell, so long as Def... Okay, no, they do have it out already. I was going to say they don't have one particular rifle that we would all love to have in this situation on the CT side, but they've already got it in their possession, so forget my money read. There it is. You can see it now for those of you playing along at home. It's kind of like playing Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. You try and play along at home.
Yeah.
My mom watches Jeopardy every night.
My parents do it too.
Do they?
Yep.
It's crazy that Alex Trebek, just what a legacy. What a legend.
How long's that show been on?
Canadian, by the way. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Can I phone a friend? Can I call Mom? Mom, how long has Jeopardy been on?
Look it up, actually.
I've been watching it since 1961. Okay, Mom. I didn't reveal my mom's age. She's not that old. I think it's... Someone said 1964. There's no way that's true. Was I actually that close? Because I was throwing a shot in the dark. I would have said like 1980s maybe.
I'm going to look it up now just to confirm.
How sad this is what our cast has been reduced to. As we get back into it, Def has gone for a very, very lovely position. I do very much enjoy this. The problem is he's got to get kills immediately and not be traded. They line up. It makes it perfect for the position as Breezy gets one back, but finally an advantage for Complexity to work with as Peter peeks. And he'll pick Breeze in doing so.
Brought NRG down to just minuscule numbers here now. Everyone for Complexity is also here to shut this down. Cirque getting at least 1 trade kill. Peter still looking for something on his own regard here, though. Unfortunately, that someone is going to have to be the bomb carrier. If Cirque tries to cross without a utility, more than likely he's a dead man. Rico has to distract Peter in some way, shape, or form. That's what he's going to try to do now. It's sneaking in, but oh no, that player from the back area over there. No, Rico just so distracted, but this does let Cirque go across it, and the missed stop shot, but Cirque's going to run out of ammo. He's going to try to push forward, and finally, the only player that hadn't been revealed up to that point is going to find his opportunity to strike. Android will shut it down, and Complexity win the round.
Yeah, they had to win that. If you get a 2-man advantage finally, yeah, okay, Def was a sitting duck and did very well to find what he got. Peter made up for it by immediately trading it back as well. They had to win that, surely. March 30th, 1964. Crazy.
Well, there you go.
But well done from Complexity to hold the site. It was a bit costly in the end, so this will cause a reset, which forces investment out of them. They have to settle for Slemmy on an SMG, but Slemmy, being the in-game leader, will understand task responsibility and go comfortably onto that weapon as he lets Peter continue on with the AWP. Jump across, flash off. He's forced toward the arch. Oh, Cirque, if he had held that angle, I think may have gotten a chance at the shot.
Now, though, Cirque is going to be forced back and away from this situation. NRG in general just have to play this a little bit more passive this time. They've been kind of brute forcing these rounds for pretty much most of the half so far. It's been working for them up to that point. Finally, they were countered out, though, so they are forced to look for new options.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Fugly with the opening
hit the
pick,
mute
though.
button.
Sorry?
I think I hit the mute button in time.
You did, I think. Yeah, no, I just thought I would clarify why you went silent. As Ye sits at the bottom of Banana once more, similar to pistol position. This time with an M4 and an anchor. Oh, good shot, Breeze. Good read. God, they can't buy anything.
So just like that, NRG have a very, very large advantage to play off of in this round. A 5v3 to build upon, and they're heading towards the site where only one player is hidden. It is Android, though. We've seen him come out clutch many times before. He's going to buy some time now, at the very least, for his teammates to try and rotate over to this site. Great flashbang, too. Pretty sure it does blind at least 2 or 3 players on NRG at the front lines there. Now they're going to molly it up. He did give away where he is. Another flashbang comes in, and he's able to pick up 2 more kills on the way in there, but now with the rotates here, Complexity, they're not out of this fight just yet, even with Android being knocked out here. We can still see Slemmy and Peter attempt to rotate over and make this retake happen. Oh, Peter missing such a great opportunity. And another one there too. And just testing these players. ANJ will stay alive from the back foot. Well, Peter will trade onto ANJ finally. Rico had taken out his teammate. Now it goes down to a 1v1, but Peter will win it after trading out to an ump there. Wins the final 1v1, and that's going to give Complexity another round.
Gives them another round. It's 2 in a row. It'll whittle down the economy for NRG. It's going to, with 2 in a row, give them another bye, but they're still going to be ropey in the fact that they've had to reinvest so much twice in a row. Yay! I thought absolutely was due for a kill there, and Breezy absolutely annihilates him, opens up Catwalk, and they were going for the anchor position, which meant naturally rotations had to come back around, and a retake would be in the cards. There's no way you're going to get there in time, but they've done it. They have broken NRG's economy in completion. I thought they had one more buy, so they're actually sitting, going for pistols. Okay, maybe they could have strung something together, but they're going to play the long game, so going rather conservative, I guess you will, with these CZs in armor. Now, how quickly do they go? 2 smokes for Breeze and Cirque. That's going to be very quick as well. AJ actually got stopped and blocked by the nade for a second, but they still managed to trade off and take down Android and Ye, and Cirque bounces it off of Reek's back, and then he gets taken down by Slemmy. That's a bit unfortunate. Finally, they'll redress the smoke towards CT, but bomb plant, the goal has to be, especially where they saved, I think it was 22 roughly on each player, so they'll get a $1,900 injection from the second round loss bonus if they can't convert this. Keep in mind, Cirque has picked up a gun and has armor to work with. So too is Fugly, and he's found the boost. I think winning this is a real possibility. They would also get the extra $800 for the bomb plant. Whoa. Peter again on the retake, finds 2 on the op. And now the bomb plant, far more substantial.
Nice direct up shot from Peter to close it on the round. He's really come alive here in these last 2 rounds, specifically over towards the B site. We've been seeing him shine, and this has a lot of complexity to come back into this game relatively quickly here now. 4-6, still 2 rounds away from tying it back up. And for the time being, NRG still does have the cash to buy in here at least one more time after that bit of a half save on the last round here. They're going to be in good shape, but before they do it, they are going to call for a pause, as clearly things are going wrong and they need to redress them.
Well, they'll call it. Daps is being rather vocal. He's certainly established a plan with some rather colorful language. It rhymes with chimpanzee. Based on word association, at least. Yeah, you got it. You're playing along, Blue.
So we'll dive back into it.
I wonder if anyone got that at all. Someone surely did.
Mm-hmm. And now it is going to be time for NRG to see if the new plan will work out well for them. We can see them pushing up through alt mid here. Before they were going to take that path, and they kind of just leave Cirque in there. Since he's been good at these really clutch shots that need to be hit within very low time situations, someone peeking with an op or something like that in pretty far nose position, he's been very good at still winning those duels. So he'll be the one that takes the risk and kind of will take any of the early duels. Should have Complexity decided to aggress out through that mid choke point, but they don't do that. They sit back for the most part onto the sites. Slemmy did change up his position here now, but he's been smoked out, so he's not going to be able to really contribute at this point in time until that smoke fades away. Was looking for a second, like Complexity, we're going to kind of rotate off of that, but I'm not sure if that'll be the case anymore here. We're going to have to wait until they push in for this.
Somebody came up with a relatively accurate rhyme that the chimpanzee that actually was what they were saying with that, but that's not what they said. That's not the word. Flash out, Breezy wraps around. We're going to go toward the A site instead. Rotation specifically from Def as he gets there. Time to spray down. Reeks. Peter finds a gap from inside of the site as well. It takes Fugly out, and we are seeing op contribution finally from Peter. This, the 4th map I've seen him in today, and his best, I would say, with the AWP, and it had to be as well on the CT side of Inferno as ANJ last alive will slow things down considerably. Bomb to his right toward the pit, but he's got to cross over, does so. Sees Peter as well, tries to spray, gets Android, and the op shot from Peter does not miss.
Yeah, so quick trade coming out from PTR there. Keeps Complexity in good straits. They win it due to a low number of clutch once again here. Complexity just kind of barely holding on in quite a few of these rounds, but also coming out on top of a few of them in a more dominant fashion too. So it's kind of allowed them to slowly inch their way back into the lead. And now that they've got into a good position here, NRG have been broken again. They are going to be put onto another half buy. And assuming we don't see them upset upon it, Complexity will now finally be able to completely close the gap and tie this up ultimately at 6-6. NRG's momentum has come to a complete halt, and the last 4 out of 5 rounds have been won by Complexity.
PD Pete up to 11. Great flash from ANJ. Don't really think that was intended to do their bags. Maybe it was. If it was, next level. Android. Down by ANJ in the entry from the CZ. That's going to force off Ye as well because he's tagged down to 17. ANJ is going to try and pursue. They'll get it a position and somehow jumping misses the shot to Slemmy and then realizes, hang on, I hit him and he didn't die. That's not the player we tagged. There's got to be oh, there he is on the right. Yeah, he got the kill.
Cirque also went down due to that, though, so they lost their numbers advantage already. Now they're going to try to push over towards Garden. Oh, and they get both those kills, too. Thought that would have ended badly, but no. It works out well for them, thankfully, because they dink 2 of them. Peter, though, with a very aggressive shot through the smoke, picks up 1, tries to go for a number 2, but it can't make it happen. Breeze will be able to take him down. Now it's all on Def to clutch this one in a 1v2 situation. Well, he doesn't realize yet he is being surrounded. He is just going to dive onto the bomb, try to defuse it there, but won't make it happen. Fugly takes him down. Breeze ends up dying by circumstance of running into the molly, but still, NRG win it, and just before they were about to lose the lead, too. It's great for them.
Not only lose the lead, they won it with pistols. That shouldn't have happened. This is going to get them immediately back into the game.
And even better, Complexity's immediately broken. They don't have any money to rebuy.
Yeah, that was a chance to build, and they fumble. Turnover on downs. Football. I don't follow it.
That's pretty good metaphor for it.
Turnover on downs?
Yeah.
That's actually not bad, yeah, because you kind of made so many mistakes that you turned the ball over
Worst situation
and you lose
possible.
the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that, though? I feel like your quarterback sacked in the end zone as he drops the ball and they get a touchdown because of it. Might be worse.
Yeah, but that's like that's
or like your
level.
punter getting confused and just kicking it through your own.
That's like getting ecoed by like 5 USPs. That's what that would be equivalent to.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah. At least this kind of time they had a respectable buy, so it was sort of like not completely out of the realm of possibility that they would win that round. Def, though, with the pickup there, is going to start things off well for Complexity. He's able to take down Rico. Now NRG find themselves spread across the map. Fugly just kind of inching forward here to make sure he doesn't get upset here by the Sandbags player, but won't be finding anyone behind it anyway. He does have to be careful creeping out past that, though, as you can see. They've got their players very much ready to take on duels on this B site, but they're very much in the open, though, with only these pistols to play with here. So if NRG show up with those smooth entries again, then Complexity may not be able to impact all that much here from these positions. We'll see, though. As it looks like they are going to follow through. Yay, though, hitting a nice one, is able to take down ANJ, and now they fall back to first and second oranges. They'll lose Android a moment later. Same can be said for Ye. Peter finding 1 kill, but he can't get back through the smoke in time, so he'll also be traded out by Fugly, and that leads it into 2v2.
Def's going to lead the charge with the AK-47 armor on both. This is a chance for Complexity to respond and make amends to the mistakes they made in the previous round. Ye again. So solid on pistols. Deagle kill. Quite resounding as Cirque waits. They're going to wrap around from Ruins. He knows it as well to try and flash behind them, but Sunny looking the wrong way. Had his back turned. Def makes up for it to the AK trade. Had to do so. A 1v1 with Fugly. No kit gets on it. Fugly forces him off, and Def's going to grab it once more, but a 10-second defuse. He's got to take the face, take the battle, tries to hold the angle, and Fugly knows the situation at this point as he gets aggressive. He'll back off, buy space, and Fugly makes no mistake closing it for NRG. It's a very passive way to close it out from Fugly, but it does the job well. And unfortunately for Def, he's just not able to find the time to jump onto that bomb safely and defuse the bomb. So NRG, after a little bit of slumping here at the beginning and towards the, well, more so towards the middle portion of this first half here, they've come back with flying colors and now have an 8-5 advantage going into the 14th round here. Complexity again really don't find themselves in the best straits of things. They do decide to just force into it this time, but the buy again is still not going to be that great. It's mostly pistols with armor along with spread amounts of utility put behind it. Yeah, we'll wait toward top banana round 14. 8-5 the score. This time NRG again. Dominant T side. I won't say dominant. There was a few mistakes here and there, but quite substantial and convincing as Fugly takes down PTR. absolutely out of your mind. I think that was my first highlight. Well, first highlight at a big land.
I think I remember that, actually.
Oh, it was CLG versus LDLC.
That was MLG, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Dust 2. Day 1. Map 1 for them.
There you go. Rico's going to go hunting again over here towards Boiler. He's got the support of his teammates this time, so hopefully won't be picked off just roaming around the map on his own. But after they move in past this mid-choke point, they are probably going to delay things a little bit here so as not to make it super obvious as to where they're going to be heading. Complexity, though, has more aggressive control established out by Banana. Oh, no, this side even realizes Slemmy tries to walk out, but Rico checking the backside just in the nick of time is going to be able to stop him providing any major impact here. And the next up to bat would more realistically be the B players here. We're going to have to wait and see if he can find impact if NRG decides to send their players in this direction. And more so, if he can go unnoticed is going to be the big question here.
He peeks it a little bit earlier than I thought he might, but gets found out, gets taken down. Def finds the response on the one UMP that they do have, but it's inconsequential as it's well removed from where the activity is stirring for NRG. And Cirque will position himself in a relatively useful position, shall we say. Forward so as to cut off rotations. They're more about saving guns and trying to strengthen the buy complexity for what will be our last round of the first half. Fortunately, they'll lose one of the two guns.
And I think I'll provide that player too. Breeze is probably going to have a pretty good idea where Def may be hiding out at somewhere in the A site, he has to assume. So moving to look for him. Def is smart, though. It actually changes up his position a little bit here, so as not to make it so easy for Breeze or anyone else on NRG to hunt him back down. Rico is also moving back in, but Def's been pretty good here. He's been successfully sleeping his way out of the way of pretty much everyone from NRG. In fact, they can't find him now as they go into the site, so it looks like he got out of the way. Not only that, but he gets another kill, too. Is able to take out Breeze, so it even makes it more expensive for NRG. Not that it matters much since we're going on to the last round anyway, but still, nicely done by Def to make sure that at the very least he saves that AK. And if they have nothing else, they'll at least carry that one rifle into this final round of the half.
17 kills for Cirque on a T side in which he's not been opping, so showing versatility and skill. Is Cirque, I'm impressed perhaps getting out of Bulgaria. Because everything happens because they're Bulgaria. I think I forgot the word from in the meme. Don't worry about it, it's irrelevant. Keep an eye on Reeks as he gets in toward Boiler, flashing off outside of the door. He in fact tries to fire through to mask the bouncing noise of the flash. No peek afterwards. It wouldn't have made much difference if Def was caught by it or not. He's positioned himself accordingly on the flower pot, the windowsill.
They'll be positioned very far back here in general on Complexity's side. B site, however, is a bit of a different story. They've pushed very aggressively down from that. Ye is going to be all the way at the bottom of Banana, ready to take a potential fight here. So NRG are going to have to be a little bit careful. I do think they have someone specifically watching it, though. I'm pretty sure Breeze is trying to catch this if his players do push for it. No, Slemmy in a great position. Unfortunately, gets flashed, but I got Def will have better luck upon it. However, these two players with pistols, they're going to be able to push forward. AJ snuck off the one kill on Def, but Peter responded, so that's brought the T's down to 3 here now with only 45 seconds left. And they're going to kind of panic, rushing up Banana here, and that's where Ye's going to tag him for even more damage. They did spot Android, though, so he's not going to be able to surprise from CT.
Slemmy could have done so much with that first headshot. If he'd found both there, especially as you said, they got aggressive and traded, would have been huge. Would have given them a massive advantage. Potentially guns picked up toward the top of middle because they lost Def. Android does get an M4 out of this, but it's over toward B. They have to be wary of, I should say, as they at least have a triangle position. No backpedaling down Banana. They thought of it, made some noise, perhaps to deter rotations in the other direction, but they'll rely on Cirque's entrance where HP's low enough. Pistols become relevant. Android dropping off, gets taken down. 9 seconds, however, and they both line up. Slumming and Ye get kills. This should be the round. And it will be. Slemmy gets another kill. I was going to say on time. There was no need to contest from Banana, so 9-6 is where we end again.
Yep, and it's going to be Complexity also again on the... Actually, excuse me, it's going to be Complexity this time that'll be on the back foot as NRG hold on to a very delicate lead, I'm going to say, for now. I do think that for this map, their CT side might be a little bit more well postured up, but if they suffer from the same issues that we saw back on the first map going up against Complexity there, I feel like there's a pretty good chance for Complexity to still come back into this and maybe even take the second map to send us over to a third and final one on Cobblestone. I said before that Complexity, we needed to see them really come out majorly on top of the T set on one of these two maps if we wanted to see it go all the way to Cobblestone, where they finally, in my eyes, have the advantage, and this is now where they need to finally step up and try to close out on this map and, more importantly, take the lead away from NRG. We're going to waste no time, though. We're going live into the second half now with NRG on CT side and Complexity going on offense.
utility by Slummy and Peter. So 2 smokes despite,
Breeze just
spotted.
so much.
Yeah, I was going to say, all going in toward alt middle. The fact that they have 3 toward A, in fact 4, excuse me, and a push down apartments, that could have been extremely costly, because if the push down from apartments, specifically from Ange, had have gotten in a position fast enough, that could have entirely foiled any plans for execution that they did have. So they've at least ascertained there's a lot of players toward A. They've pushed them back. Now the smokes become beneficial, and they're going to let Android lurk this.
Though is still going to be left alone at the moment over there on the B bomb site. He doesn't rotate in the way, but they're going to take some time before they can get into a position where they can really help him. As we see, the CT smoke has already been deployed here. No, it's even worse. They find Fugly just straight out in the open. Oh, Cirque moves in through the smoke, though, and just steals a trade back. They had no business getting that second kill. So very well done by Cirque. At least keeps it competitive now, even though Complexity do is basically walk onto the B site. Now it's all about the retake, and if NRG can successfully pull it off here. As Complexity are very much established. And it's going to be tough for them to get back in on the CT side.
Slummy watching bomb from range. Pinch play. Yeah, he can't. Oh, he can. I take it back. Can't do anything with it. I was going to say, could have defended his teammate. He went down immediately, though, when it's Android to make up for 2 kills, and he can bait Slummy in from the corner. Doesn't even need to. He'll walk out and find the pistol shot directly to the head, and Complexity now with a chance to take momentum and potentially bring it to 9-9.
Android with some good stuff there, holding the entrance from Banana. Making sure that he's able to find significant impact there, and he does end up picking up most of the impact kills that carry Complexity to victory there in the pistol. Now, they do have to be a little bit cautious. We've seen NRG pull off these eco rounds before on T side, and they'll have another opportunity to do it again here on CT side, as they do go for the aggressive force buy. Not on everyone, though. You can see players like Cirque still being left over with a little bit of extra cash. Same for Reeks, too, as he still could have bought an extra nade or 2 if you decided to go for it, but it will look like we have not everyone necessarily fully buying into this here. Also spreading out the buys a bit more for things like utility and whatnot, too, when you look at AMJ.
Somebody has broken something in the back of Studio 40. Can I just say that it's very cool as a Canadian? I know you probably don't care because you're American Blue. But this is a cool place. We're in Studio 40, CBC, downtown Toronto. Rather illustrious building in itself. Kind of a big deal, actually. Very cool. For those of you playing along at home, that's Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. But you already knew that.
I knew that, yeah. I got that much of it.
I'm just picking on you. Pistols only still for NRG, obviously, round 2. I've gotten the opening kill, however, on the man that was the hero in the previous round, if you will, Android, with 3 very, very convincing kills late in the round. But they've slowed the pace, and they'll try and take benefit of not giving away, any guns thus far.
A little bit scared, a little bit cautious. They check these angles over here towards Arches. NRG, unfortunately for them, have yet to catch on to where exactly this execute's going to be coming from. So that factor alone may allow for Complexity to win this round. But we will see if these players on the site can hold off for any additional kills themselves. And it's not looking too good. Both of them get knocked out, and that's the end of it right there. No hope at all for Cirque, ANJ, or Fugly to properly rotate over and attempt any sort of a retake here. Their best hope now is going to be in position for exit kills, or at very worst, just sit back and save these pistols for the next round, since they are still going to have to full eco on that 3rd round anyway. And I think they'll take that latter option.
Yeah, absolutely. Save what you can. You've got guns. Well, pistols bought up at least. Some investment into the rounds. You could argue that there's equal benefit from Fugly's armor. So Complexity bring it back to a 9-8 scoreline. Def's been 2 years in North America now. He's been here for quite some time. Under the Complexity banner. Did you know that the owner of Complexity has a lake named after him?
Does he really?
It's called Jason. Like, I want a lake named after me.
That's good.
Lake Jason. That's pretty cool.
All right, so. NRG, again, working with primarily just those pistols. And Fugly having the only bit of armor for the team. He's going to be pushed forward first up here, playing more aggressively against Cole. Cole will waste no time moving forward. Taking that mid connector, the mid choke point control. Trying to build upon this too. This time NRG did end up stacking a majority of their players closer towards A. So they are going to have more well-established presence towards this Slummy. He's kind of moving forward cautiously here. Oh, unfortunately for Fugly, he does look away into the corner, hoping that he would get flashed. Not going to be the case, so missed an opportunity to sneak off a kill on Breeze. Didn't even realize where Def came from. Somehow he managed to get up on top of Graveyard there. I don't even know how he managed to sneak past him. NRG will trade for 1 kill from the Deagle there. Then afterwards, we'll pick up the UMP and run away. And for Cirque, I imagine he is again going to be positioning up to just try and find a couple of exit kills at worst. As this round once again is going to go pretty handily into Complexity's favor, so they will tie it up now at 9-9.
Still held. NJ with the UMP. Benefits, obviously, if we can find a kill, we'll get the $600 for doing so. Therefore, could justify going down and taking a gun away in the process. However, he could also, potentially, it can be done, hold that for the first gun round on the CT side. So I'll take the latter approach and try and stay alive with it. Oh, Cirque. So put some shots into PTR. They go hunting, obviously, with the UMPs, rather than allow Slummy any chance of losing the AK.
So now we move into what should be the first gun round here. NRG fully buying into this. Will be probably a little bit limited just because of the fact they didn't necessarily get a whole lot of kills in these first couple rounds here, but they end up actually just downgrading a few players to UMPs as a result of that. So Cirque will get the ops. That's pretty much a given right there, considering like the powerhouse player that he's become for his team. 2 more. And 4 is able to be balled up behind that, and then the umps just to add a little bit more utility, I think, more than anything into the mix here. So they can kind of play around with that a bit more. Complexity goes for very aggressive banana control in this round, though. Already using their utility to try and get up on top of it here. Just not, up to that point anyway, not finding a whole lot of impact, and Cirque just getting wrecked, actually.
Yeah, stray bullet. Was that nade? I think it was straight bullet, wasn't it?
I think it was a bullet, yeah.
Yeah, because the nade wouldn't take me out of 21. I thought
yeah.
maybe it was a contribution to both, but it was definitely just a straight headshot from the UMP.
So he's down at 21 HP, and NJ not faring much better, down at 49. What surprised me, though, is we don't see any additional rotates just yet because Complexity still has 2 players in the apartments playing around a little bit, so they haven't fully bitten into that and haven't fallen back just yet. Looks like they are going to change that up now, though. Fugly falling back and wrapping the other way.
Yay, slow peek. A dry peek to Cirque, who has AWP waiting around the corner. Android top middle will wait for his chance to strike as they'll boost as well, wait for smoke execution, and Cirque have to make a decision. If the smokes go down early with the boost, oh, he's actually going to play aggressive. I'm surprised by this because blinded up and low HP. I would have thought he rotates to coffins on that. He's already got a crossfire established between the other 2. It's probably best to play the long game as they'll extinguish the flames, after which they decide to run through. In fact, Def decides to do so to get a jump on A&J, but he manages instead to get the kill, so it's a 1-1 trade with still the benefit of Cirque going down early, meaning the post plant has an advantage. PTR tag to 4. Fugly manages to get away with everyone's favorite number, 69 HP. But it could be a hold for Complexity for their 4th straight. In fact, they're already backing off to go for the save, so very well done, Complexity. A great start to their T side.
The NRG just can't get any kills there as Complexity move in for the execute, so they cannot justify attempting to go for this retake, especially after they have run essentially completely out of utility here, not leaving themselves with anything at all to play with or anything to get past the smoke setups that Complexity had thrown down, so they do give up upon it. They're going to let Complexity take control of this one. And with that said, Complexity will also now take the lead, 10-9 going into their favor, with NRG about to have to go onto an eco, even with these 3 guns being saved. They may decide to force into it if all 3 of these guns stay alive, but Complexity, you can see they're moving in. They're going to try to drop at least 1 or 2 of them here, although, let's see. Oh, they get so close. Not going to happen, though, as they all duck down and get out of the way.
Yeah, no need to take that battle at all. Fugly tried to get a kill for it. He almost gave his position away to I think Peter. Well, it might have been Peter was wrapping close enough by, but Complexity take the lead, as you mentioned, and they do so with the benefit of the economy still inside of their back pocket and a round essentially in hand with good money established on 3 players, particularly. So UMP with double M4. What is the call from NRG to base off of that? Because A&J has a significant amount of money. Yeah, so he's going to drop over. And he's going to drop over the AWP as well. I thought he would try and maybe bring out 2 of the more powerful, if you will, rifles in the M4s, but they go for 1 from Os with the benefit of the AWP.
So into the next battle we go. NRG do end up with a force buy. But how well is it going to work out for them is yet to be seen here. Complexity obviously still a full buying force themselves, and they're going to go for a bit of an early duel here over towards Banana if they can find it. Peter very much going to be trained on that angle. NRG we're going to see in a second here. So they also have quite a few players pushed out on Banana with presence being established. The problem is, though, is that NRG are going to push in and find this way too late. Complexity's now pushing in through the mid choke point. They need to have these players push forward more aggressively now. They cheated the third player over here, so they are going to have a full 3-man commitment over at the A site, but the B players are showing no signs of rotating anytime soon here. I think only just now are we going to have Cirque starting to back away, and as they move in, it's 3 quick kills for Complexity with only 1 being traded the other way here. Complexity easily make their way onto the site, and it's going to be another save call from NRG. There's just nothing they can do about that.
Both these teams having better T sides so far in the first 2 maps of this series, at the very least. Complexity comes back from 9-6 this time in a very similar fashion to that which NRG was capable of achieving on Mirage, trying to save early. Cirque still has the AWP, finds 1 quick shot towards death, but now they know where he is, and ample time to track him down, although I say that and there's not much desire to do so. An AWP is beneficial. If they can keep one AWP and it can get a fast enough pick in the next round, it can shape things in itself, but how aggressively do they want to go after it and risk salvaging their own economy? Shoulder bait gets 1 shot, they'll go back in. Peter gets close, he tags the lag, but he can't. Ooh, does get another shot. I thought he was going to pull the pistol for it. Stay alive, no need to peek it. Stay alive. Ooh, that's a spammable wall, but he does keep the op. And he does, there's lots of money on the Complexity side, but he does effectively take a round away from them and how much of a cushion they have built up.
Here's Cirque again. Holding off. This is a bit of a heroic hold here. Peter just not able to take him down.
If they get broken now with this force, this could be, I mean, yes, okay, it adds another round to the bonus before they're completely back to pistols, but it's going to make things very desperate.
They're also not even close to breaking Complexity at this point in time, too, so it's a really strange buy considering that fact that Complexity pretty much have been kind of dunking on them in the A site for the last 2 rounds now, so it's a little bit weird that they would try to force it, but it's, I mean, at the very least, ends up equating to a relatively full buy when you look at the utility and buy ups in general.
It's a bold call. I mean, it's on the cusp, and a lot of teams lately, and I mean, again, going back to Threat, who's kind of reinvented some of the thought processes behind saving and force buying. It's one of those situations where you kind of get baited in based on the fact you've been off, but they actually pulled together a reasonable buy with kits as well, and they've got Breeze in an excellent position to shut down the entrance from the apartments, and doing so, he backs up so far into the corner, he buys such space that Fugly's able to walk in with a distracted Android and take down Peter as well. It's all to Slemmy, and Fugly nails him as he jumps up on top of the box. That justifies the force buy.
And there you go. Now they just have to actually break Complexity's money here. Unfortunately, the problem is, though, is they do take quite a few losses, so the rebuys might be a tad rough for them. Looking at it now, looks like they end up relatively okay. Breeze just has to get tossed over a rifle here, and again, they have to scrounge together enough cash for utility, but it still looks pretty good at the end of the day here. Complexity, though, with all the money that they'd built up from, what was this, 5 rounds straight that they finally won before being upset there, they're still buying into it with, you know, full op, 4 AKs, and pretty much full utility for those that bought AKs too, so they're in okay shape to continue fighting, at least for this round. Next round will start to show some signs of economical struggle here on the T side.
Slemmy needs to make a decision quickly. Okay, he gets away with 61 HP. Got pretty hot and toasty in there.
How many mollies were just used in the last like 5 or 6 seconds here? I swear to God, like 4 or 5 different mollies were just thrown down on Banana.
It is Toronto. Cirque tries to get a shot down toward the smoke, can't do so. Good shot back from Ye. Slemmy follows it up. This is the entry Complexity need, especially after the force buy, and Cirque gets caught in the open after at least getting 1 shot off towards Slemmy, but nowhere to hide in the AWP, and a great entrance from Complexity to win Banana.
And for Breeze and Rico, there's just no opportunities again for the retake here. NRG take this massive risk on pushing out Banana, and it fails horribly, so they're not going to have any room at all for a retake. They're back to saving again, and that's going to give Complexity control of the scoreline here. Going up 12-10, and NRG will have their losing bonus reset as a result of that.
Ye starting to really come alive on the T side. Reeks will try and surprise them. Def's ready for that, so too is Android, both in perfect positions. And they'll try and save it. Breezy doing the same. Hot pursuit. Not so much. Quick consideration toward A, and that's about all.
Nothing to be seen for either of these players, however. Makes a move forward and picks up the AK, just trades it out very casually there. So at the very least gets that minimalist upgrade. But like I said before, again, with them losing the round in such a drastic fashion, it does reset their losing bonus. They're no longer going to get massive stacks of cash at the end of these rounds. Most players end up with $2,000 or less. Cirque is a little bit more, right under 4K to try to justify a force buy here, but we can see again just how everything fell apart here. Yeah, being able to roll right in, get those 2 quick kills, and that pretty much sealed the deal on the round.
Not the best flash I've ever seen. I think he was hoping that would detonate slightly above where it did, and then he wouldn't be blinded, but, you know, whatever. Better luck next time.
Flex able to play this round very slowly, despite them having a pretty big advantage upon it. There's good reason, however, behind that style of play, given that NRG have been big fans of forcing into these rounds in the past here. So I think they're just trying to watch out for that, and specifically watch out for players like Breeze, who's going to be able to sneak off a first kill here. He takes pretty heavy damage as a result of going in for that kill, though, just under 50, so he's forced to fall back to the site. He's going to have to tuck himself away a little bit more here. Play passively. Regardless, though, Complexity still moving in, even with one player lost, another player dropped to under 10 HP. Are still going to get that control and now try to work with it to inch further and further into this A site.
Trying to find space. They do get one of the rifles down. In fact, both. They found Reeks as well. That'll open up B. Or rather, excuse me, the opposite of B. The other B. As A becomes a possibility with the plant behind default. Yeah, we'll go back to check to make sure there's no rotations back through middle as well. Having already cleared the arch and his team with a forward stance to hold it off. Pistols only, nothing to lose for NRG. They might as well get as many guns down as they possibly dare.
It's both of the big guns going down here too, so it's only just USPs left alive on NRG. Not even really worth saving, but at the very least they can deny the extra money for Complexity here. ANJ that was already been found back at the bottom of alt mid, and the last two aren't necessarily in the greatest spots to get much done. We can see Cirque getting knocked out inside of Library. Fugly left alone here. Not a whole lot that he's going to be able to do. It seems like Complexity, for the most part, are walking right past him, avoiding him entirely as they secure their 13th round. Only 3 more needed for them to take control of map number 2 and take this over to Cobblestone to decide the series.
23 kills for Cirque, but he's gone relatively quiet. So too is NRG on their CT side. A UMP for Dev. Oh, now NRG, I think, is going to concede, play the long game. Because the money's actually reasonably... Oh, they're in timeout considering it's actually reasonably good, but CT side with 2 players in the 3s, I think you almost force buy, take it on the chin, get that 14, and then can play still for the win, rather than if you buy here, you're essentially conceding to play for overtime.
We'll see what they end up deciding to do, however. Once again, on the pause, they're figuring this out now. The pause time, however, is already gone, so they're only left with the freeze time now. And as they do buy into it, it looks like they do end up deciding to go for just a half purchase. Not even that for most of their players. Only Breeze and Rico ending up buying armor. ANJ will also pick up a bit of utility. Besides that, though, it is just the pistol buys for Cirque and Fugly. More specifically on Cirque, as he's saving up for the op in the gun round. That seems to be his gun that he needs to get to in order to find decent impact here. Complexity, though, in good straights, continuing to find impact where they need to, and also finding these entries, importantly, too. Make sure they clean up these rounds in relatively good fashion without losing too many players. So they're going to once again play it slowly on this round, just in case NRG did force buy. They want to try and weigh down the timer a little bit here before they attempt to kind of go out and take any control, just in case there's a bit of an upset from NRG.
Fugly spots one on the bridge. Falls back in accordance to the fact that they had a presence inside of alternate middle. Alternative middle, it's the most hipster spot on the map.
Now NRG, let's see here. They're going to try to get very aggressive. In fact, they found a player down below. The problem is, though, is that timing ended up working out really well for Complexity. Cirque, though, moves in. Breeze finding another kill, too. They're sneaking these off one by one. Breeze even manages to get all the way out from the apartments, picking up an AK, and now he has a flank lined up. So Complexity's going to have to be constantly watching their back until they can deal with him. In fact, they might be evolving their play because of this, as they're trying something more interesting now. We'll see if they follow it through completely.
There's no reason for Ye to go in through Boiler. Get to the site, hold them off as they exit from the apartments. You already had a Molotov. They can't chase and peek behind you. So you're better to actually just sit and watch the doorway and take the site when it was available. The fact that he goes down gives NRG a massive, massive chance in this round. They're funneled toward B. No gun in B, but there is certainly a hidden opponent.
NRG are very quickly on their tail, however. They're already up highway here, so they're going to move back in, try to take down ANJ. He goes down relatively contest-free. And not only that, but Peter just takes care of both those players on the rotate, too. Now it's left alive is Breeze. However, Complexity did a great job of changing their hit to kind of avoid this player, since he was the one that picked up the AK. And it looks like he's not even going to attempt it anymore. He might just line up for the exit kills, but that would be pretty much it. Complexity should be able to close out on this round, putting themselves at a 14-10 now.
44 HP. Excuse me, Breezy will get away. Bomb detonates to Complexity's favor. Again, though, they did take this one on the chin strictly for the fact that they want to try and build the economy further and be eligible to play for the end of the game rather than just overtime. Turn of events, though, Complexity. I wasn't sure what to expect on their T side after watching a very lackluster previous map.
It seems like they just
I shouldn't say very lackluster. They did find 9 rounds, but it wasn't. A lot of it was economy, giving the birth on that.
Their CT side was pretty.
Yeah, that was
pretty absent. I think they only picked up like 1 round on their CT side. So
that's no better than NRG.
yeah, so far anyway. Let's see if they can fare any better here, as they are getting onto a full investment. Includes the double ops on both NJ and Cirque. So we'd have to hope that now that they can finally put this very strong buy together, and it's going to be enough to stop Complexity from running straight up to 16. But they're not going to make it easy. These nades being tossed back in, just out of reach of ANJ there, so he's only going to get a hit bar for 4 HP on both of those nades combined. Still be in pretty good straits to continue the fight if Complexity follow this through up towards B.
With the flash in, has Def beside him. Trade ANJ can't hit the shot. Allows motion on entry for Complexity. A well-timed counter flash from Fugly, though, will buy space and time for the rotation on the AWP. Gappin said smoke for Def. He's hoping someone will get careless to walk beyond it or peek from the CT position off rotation. Another gap in the water as well as Slummy checks the boost. It gives away his position, and Fugly tries with the silenced M4. Spray back in with Tracers in absence. However, it's Ye that trades back. In fact, don't even call it a trade. It's just a straight entrance. And again, Complexity control the site. Bomb grabbed and go for the plant. Denial. Potential for ANJ. Can't quite line it up correctly. Yeah, now it's full retake.
He's going to end up backing away from this fight. Breeze Fair is better off, though, as he pushes back in from CT. He's going to be able to steal Slummy's death. Android now picking up the op, however, so they're going to be armed with that gun once again here. And NRG still moving very, very slowly on this retake, not giving them a whole lot of time. Android almost lining up a double there if he peeked wide a little bit more. Def is the one that takes a risk on it. He moves out, and just like that, Complexity completely melt down the retake, and they're up on map point.
Absolutely. Double op retake, never going to happen. Very, very good post-plant positions from Complexity. Used a good amount of smoke utility on entry, but saved just enough as well to deter any action on the retake. And a big important smoke in all of that as well. You've got to remember, as soon as ANJ picks up the AWP toward Ruins, no vision of the site, misses the denial shot, and immediately gives away that the op was there, and they just contained that angle. So very, very well done from Complexity. 1 round to go. We force out map number 3 in doing so. Of course, is Cobblestone. Cirque aggressive, forced down by the Molotov, but still finds the shot in doing so. That's a body.
Throws him off a little bit, though.
On edge, at least.
Yeah. Now Complexity kind of just walking their way. Well, I'm not even sure if NRG's realized what's happened here just yet either. Because they're paying attention. They're not really watching this other angle here. They're going to have to do it now, as Complexity will just explode onto the site. Really well played from them so far to this point. They go in completely unnoticed. Ye crossing through. He hasn't even gotten any kills yet. It's all been Android and Def doing the work for them. Massive amounts of kills being picked up. ANJ is able to sneak back in, trading at least 1 frag off, but now it goes down to a 2v3. NRG have no position to get back in just yet. They also don't have a whole lot of utility to play off of either. Just a smoke and 2 flashbangs to get back into this site with here. Well, Cirque's even going to be blinded. They know he's stuck in this little cubby over here. They'll try to sneak back out, look for at least 1 pickup, but Complexity have now hidden themselves away, and they're not going to be giving them any additional angles to play off of here until they push into the site.
Peter, good bait in. They get Peter down, but Ye immediately pops out, and again, continues to impress. His entry potential is so solid on an AK. Again, their CT sides have definitely been struggling, but what a comeback. 1 round only for NRG on the CT side of Inferno. That's impressive stuff from Complexity. And now we get a map 3. We get a 3rd map, Cobblestone. I think a great decider again. Utility-dependent CT side, op-dependent CT side, and execution-heavy. Both teams have shown presence of execution, but I'm not sure which favors, I think, in this. I think the op contribution from both teams has been significantly noted.
And it's really could go either way as it gets to that 3rd round, like I was saying before. I think it slightly would favor Complexity a little bit, considering just their map history on that map, but it really is going to be like a 60-40 or like 55-45 kind of split there. It's really, really close between those teams. And it, in theory, could go towards either team, especially given the result that we just saw there. And the great comeback from Complexity after they kind of dropped the ball back on the 1st map and bounced back amazingly here on the T side of the 2nd map.
Yeah, and look, credit where it's due. I didn't know what to expect when Complexity Complexity jumped over. I thought NRG had so much momentum starting on the first half that they would just roll with it, but Ye steps up. Peter was great first half as well, even though they only found the 6 rounds. His op definitely was a lot better than I expected and better than it has been in the previous 4 maps we saw from Complexity today. That said, we'll take a short break, come back, the last map of the evening, and one map to decide who goes through to the playoffs from this group.